Around here, there's a bunch of crooks around here.
You ain't supposed to be in that jail, boy. Get over there, man.
No, that's a total no, man. Vodka in.
Is my salary going up?
Bahamian people gotta wake up.
This is my 5 cents, and I approve this message.
Baha Mar Chinese construction workers protest in front of the Chinese embassy. The Defense Force Commodore speaks out in the wake of bad press on marine behavior. Plus, stolen iguanas return to the Bahamas and a new world record to be set at tonight's Independence Day celebrations. We've got those stories and more coming up tonight. I'm Dana Smith, and NB12 starts right now. Topping news tonight, around 50 Chinese construction workers on the Baha Mar development reportedly walked off the job today and gathered in front of the Chinese embassy in protest over unpaid wages. The workers did not speak English, but with the help of cell phone translators, they indicated they haven't been paid in 6 months. The workers also indicated they wanted the Chinese embassy to intervene and provide help. Police on the scene said the workers were from Baha Mar and had walked from the site to the Shirley Street Embassy. Director of Labor Robert Farquharson also arrived to the scene where, with the help of a translator, he assessed the situation. He told the upset workers, as the Director of Labor, it is his job to ensure laborers in the country are treated fairly, and he indicated his willingness to hear their concerns and meet with them.
My job is to make sure all workers in Bahamas are treated fairly.
他的工作呢，就是让所有工作在巴哈马岛上的人，凡是在这边拿到工卡在这里工作的人，得到公平的待遇。
If they work, they should be paid.
如果你们工作了，那肯定是要付钱的了。
My job is to see that they are paid.
他的工作就是专门看我们给你们付钱的，来监督我们的。
I want to hear their concerns.
我想听到你们的呼声。
But it's difficult to talk in this environment.
但现在在这个地方不适合场合，我没法跟你们谈。
I am prepared to meet them either at the hotel or at my office.
When reached for comment, Baha Mar officials said it's an internal matter between China State Construction and its employees. Officials there were unaware of the issue and said they would return a call to NB12. However, no further information was given up to airtime. Well, back in February, 13 rock iguanas were smuggled from San Salvador into the United Kingdom by 2 Romanian women who came to the Bahamas, wrapped the lizard in socks, and packed them in a suitcase. Well, after months of investigations, the endangered lizards that survived were finally returned home. Simone Davis has the story.
After months of investigation of the stolen iguanas from San Salvador, they were finally returned to the Bahamas. 12 iguanas were brought in by British Airways and packaged in 3 boxes not opened for public display. UK officials said today during a press conference at the Sir Lyndon Pindling National Airport that it was not a normal task for them, but they agreed to bring the animals back because they recognized their importance to the Bahamas.
I'd like to finish off just saying hopefully these iguanas now will live the rest of their lives in the country that they belong in, and I think more importantly with the people that they actually belong to.
Minister of Housing Kendrick Dorsett said that wildlife trafficking is a global problem, but the trafficking of Bahamian wildlife will continue if Bahamians don't protect it.
The proliferation of wildlife trafficking will continue unless the proper measures are put in place to identify and deter this criminal act. This incident has also heightened our awareness of the need for greater border security, additional training, and stricter laws, so that any future occurrences of wildlife smuggling may be quickly detected or even avoided.
Deputy Prime Minister Philip Brave Davis said that Bahamians cannot allow foreigners to make Bahamian animals become extinct, and it is his goal to conserve the Bahamian species.
As the Member of Parliament responsible for that island, it is my goal and the goal of this government to promote the conservation of these species and many others now under threat. The act of animal trafficking and smuggling is a human crime that is based on ignorance and greed. This is a problem, as was again noted, of global proportions that will need coordinated global response in order to combat its occurrence. We cannot afford to lose our endemic and endangered species or the habitats or ways of life they support. And we cannot allow vicious criminals to make them extinct.
He also noted that the women who were responsible for stealing the iguanas are now in prison, and he believes their motive behind this criminal act was to attain money for the iguanas.
I'm advised that a female iguana goes as high as $30,000, the male about $20,000. Obviously it's greed, and they're making funds, making a living from it maybe.
Davis said that this was an atrocious and terrifying situation for the iguanas, and they will be turned over to caretakers in San Salvador at the Gracie Research Facility to receive proper treatment before they are released into the wildlife. Davis said his aim is to now focus on protecting the Bahamian borders to ensure that animal trafficking does not happen anymore in the Bahamas. Reporting for NB12, I'm Simone Davis.
In recent months, the Royal Bahamas Defense Force has attracted negative headlines due to alleged bad behavior by some of its officers. While Commodore Roderick Bowe insisted the force is serious about maintaining its high standards. Our Jasmine Brown has more in this report.
With the Royal Bahamas Defense Force serving as the only military branch in the Bahamas, Commodore Bowe insists that its officers must be held to a higher standard. Bowe insists that if any officer breaks the law, it tarnishes the stellar record of the RBDF.
We're law enforcement. Yes. You know, we're required to follow the laws and enforce the laws. We can't be breaking them. So if we're breaking the laws, then it goes contrary to what we're all about.
Bowe insisted that the force, which also handles some of its issues internally, does have the proper checks and balances in place to not only discipline but also vet potential Marines.
When we recruit out of our society. So our recruitment process, we try to do our best in getting the best for the Defense Force. But sometimes, you bring people in who are part of certain communities that tend to not do so well, and so we have to filter them out.
According to Bowe, so far this year he has not had to dishonorably discharge any officers, as only minor infractions have come across his path, like consistent lateness and disobedience. He added that the process is also complex.
And there are different laws governing how we can proceed with those. So an officer who has commissioned, I can't just have him discharged or let go. That has to go through, once he has commission from the Governor General, has to go to the ministry, who will then in turn seek to have the Governor General revoke that commission. And then approval will be given to me. For the enlisted, I still need the approval of the ministry to have them discharged. Unlike the police force, where the commissioner has that authority to discharge some people.
In May 2013, the RBDF came under fire after allegations surfaced that Cuban detainees were beaten at the Carmichael Road Detention Center. A private hearing has been commissioned in the matter, with 23 people testifying so far. More recently, just this week, a Defense Force Marine was charged on Monday with the attempted rape of a 8-year-old woman. He has since been released on $15,000 bail. Reporting for NB12, I'm Jasmine Brown.
Well, the second in a fleet of new ships ordered for the Royal Bahamas Defense Force arrived at the Prince George Wharf this afternoon. Commodore Roderick Bowe says he has been in contact with Sir Derwent Knowles, who he says is honored to have a ship named after him.
He's elated about the fact that the boat is being named in his honor. I think it's fitting to name it after him because he's a Bahamian icon when it comes to sailing, but he also has a heart for Bahamian people because he's done so much for us.
Last month, the first of the ships arrived in the Bahamas. HMBS Arthur Dion Hanna is also one of 4 Legend-class patrol boats. Back in March, the government announced it would borrow $232 million from Dutch Bank to order 9 vessels and carry out civil work for the Defense Force. Bo admitted the HMBS Arthur Dion Hanna had several kinks that were eventually worked out. He added the force has since been on patrol.
The initial patrol started several weeks ago, and she had a technical glitch where what has to do with the marrying of the mechanical aspect of the ship with the electronic side of it. So the electronics gave us a feedback that there was something not right, and so we allowed the representatives here, M&E, to take a look at it. We ran it for 3 hours, and then after that we went on patrol. She came back on the weekend to replenish her fuel supply and food, and she's out again, and so she won't be back for another few days. So it's working out well. Daman has a very good product. I think we are pleased with what we have, and I don't think it was a mistake in getting the vessels from Daman, because we looked at Jamaica, Barbados, we looked at several other Caribbean nations that has the vessel.